Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. We are continuing the series of Pedestal design, and today we are going to see the complete elements of Pedestal. We can also call it as the nomenclature or terminology of Pedestals. We can see the complete working principle of guide plate tool. The importance of each part of Pedestal, its material. Also, we have to know more details about guide plate tool, so that in which scenario we have to use guide press tool in our industries for reducing the material cost and machining cost. So friends, for getting the complete understanding about the guide press tool and press tool nomenclature and its detail, please watch this video till end. Hope you like this video. Those who are the new viewers, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for getting the notification of my upcoming videos. So friends, let's start with the elements of guide plate tool elements. On the screen, you can see the image of the guide plate tool. It consists of two hubs. First hub is moving hub with the press machine ram. It is attached to the ram of the press machine. And second half is the fixed with the press machine. It is attached to the press machine bed plate with respect to the clamps, screws and bolts. We are holding that plate so that according to the press machine capacity, ram will apply force. So the position, or you can say the location of the bottom half remains need to become fixed. Friends, before we start to see one by one elements of press tool in details, we have to know the application of the guide plate tool so that we can apply that guide tool on the below scenario. We can use the guide plate tool. First scenario, the shape of the component is simple. Second, accuracy of component is not required. Third, only few number of components are required. That means only we have to produce the batch production. At that time, we can use the guide plate tool. Now, we are going to focus on basic elements of press tool and its types. The basic elements of guide plate tool: punch, die, punch holder, thrust plate, or you can say the back plate, shank, top plate, stripper cum guide plate, bottom plate, stopper, screws and dowels. These are the basic elements of guide plate tool. We are going to see details about each and every element. Punch. The basic element of blanking tool is punch. They are made up of the good quality of alloy steel and also hardened it by tempered up to 58 to 62 HRC. How we can classify the punches? Classification of punches can be classified according to the operation or functional requirement. First thing. Second, classification as per the mounting of the punches. Third thing, the characteristic structural configuration of punches. So, we can classify according to these three main basic areas. According to the operational classification, you can see on the image, that is the cutting punch. In this category, the punch which blank, pierce, notch, trim, shave and cutting for the stock material. This punch having a cutting edge. So, during the deformation of the sheet metal, this punch becomes cut the sheet material. Second is the non-cutting punch. You can see the diagram on the screen. This category includes punches which bend, draw, extrude or otherwise act to form or deform the stock material. Third type is the hybrid punch. You can see its diagram. Both cutting and non-cutting operations are combined in the same punch. Some typical hybrid punch are shear form punches. According to the classification by mounting, we can see the integrated punch. Integrated punch which are including in this group, which are depends upon some other component such as punch plate to locate the position. Punches in this group may require additional support or guidance. They may be guided by a stripper or some other appropriate die members. In the image you can see the punch is located on the punch plate. So such type of arrangement you can see in the integrated punch. According to the classification by the mounting, segregated punch, you can see this image. There is a punch after plate and after back plate, so that we have provided the hole and the screw becomes holding the punch. Such type of arrangement you can see in the segregated punches. These punches are the self-mounted in the sense that they are positioned and retained by means of self-contained screw and dowel. This tends to simplify the mounting procedure and minimizing the work required for mounting a punch. It is also easy to disassemble the assembly during the maintenance point of view. Plain punches. You can see the H-shaped punch diagram here. The cross-sectional configuration of this punch is rectangular. The side wall of the punch follows the cutting contour, originating at the cutting edge and extending straight through to the base surface. You can see in the diagram. Now we are going to focus on the advantages of the plain punches. Plain punch becomes low cost, minimum material required to make a punch. Mounting procedure of punch is very simple. Also the punches can be classified according to its structure. Now we are going to see the pedestal punch. You can see in the image the area of the base surface is larger than the area of the cutting face. Load distribution qualities are excellent. It is a self-mounting punch. Strength of this punch is good. Second punch is the offset pedestal punch. In case of offset pedestal punch, you can see in the image. Offset pedestal punch are often made with the base offset. There are two reasons for offsetting the base of a punch. First point is the space consideration and second point is the machining and grinding accessibility. These 2 points we have to consider during the offset pedestal punches we can recommend. Bevel head punch. You can see in the image angle of bevel between the 30 degree to 45 degree. Bevel head punch. Generally bevel angle made in between 30 degree to 45 degree. If we are providing the 30 degree, gives stronger head proportional than a greater angle. This punch is very much easy to fit in the punch plate. Next is the keyed punch. You can see here the key at the top of the punch so that we can restrict the rotary motion of the keyed punch. If the point contour is other than round, some means of the preventing rotation is necessary. One method is to key the punch to the punch plate. A slot is milled in the punch plate. Slot height must suit the head height of the punch. These are the criteria of the keyed punch. Other category is the floating punch. You can see in the diagram, the punch is floating on the stripper plate. It is based in the stripper plate and punch plate in between that. So, this type of punch called as the floating punch. Pilots. We are using pilot in the press tool operations for guiding the punch. You can see in the image. There are two types piloting. Methods of piloting. First is the direct piloting and other is the indirect piloting. Hope you like this video. Those who are the new viewers, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for getting the notification of my upcoming videos. Now we are focusing on the punch holder. The punch holder is usually fixed with the light press fit. That is the H7 piece in the punch holder. You can see in the image on the screen. You can see the image on the screen. On the rectangular slot, we can fix the punch so that the main purpose of that plate is to hold the punch. There are two diagonally dowel pins we have to use for the positional purpose, and the two threaded holes we have to use for the screwing purpose. Now we are focusing on the thrust plate. You can also say the back plate. Please see the diagram of the thrust plate. While performing the cutting operation, the punch exerts an upward thrust so that there will be chances to damage the top plate. So to avoid the damage of the top plate, we are inserting the thrust plate. The punch should be backed up by the hardened and its hardness about 45 to 50 HRC. That thrust plate which prevents it from the digging into the soft top plate. Now we are focusing on the shank. The tool is located and clamped to the press ram by the shank. C-shape or H-frame shape of press machine which having a ram which is attached to the tool by using the shank. Diameter of the shank for a particular tool depends only on the diameter of the corresponding hole size in the press ram. Shanks are also available in the standard sizes for the different types of press machines. You can see the image of the shank. The lower portion of the shank having the threaded area which is going to fix with the top hole of the top plate. The threaded shank of the bottom area which is going to fix with the top plate having the threaded hole, and it is the press fit, and the top area of the shank which is going to assemble with the ram of the machine. Now friends, we are going to see the top plate. You can see in the image the punch assembly including the punch holder and thrust plate is mounted on the top plate with the screws and dowels. There are two screws diagonally and two dowels diagonally we are used. Dowel pins are used for the positioning purpose and screws are used for the holding purpose. Shank is also screwed into the top plate which we have just seen in the shank image. The top plate is manufactured out of mild steel or cast iron. This plate should be of sufficient thickness to prevent the bending. Because after applying 20 ton of machine, force exerted on the tool at that time, there will be chances to bend the top plate due to height. So we have to calculate the thickness of the top plate. We are going to see all its calculation in the next video. Stripper cum guide plate. You can see the image of the stripper cum, or some people also said guide plate or box stripper. It looks like a box, so called as the box stripper. While performing the cutting operation, the punch penetrates the stock material and enters into the die. The blank is pushed into the die. On completion of the cutting operation, the punch is withdrawn from the die, but the stock around the punch, the strip cannot be fed forward unless it is free from the punch. To facilitate the removal of the strip from the punch, another plate is mounted on the top of the die with the help of the screws and dowels. This plate does not allow the strip to the dragging along with the punch. That plate is called as the stripper plate. That is the main function of the plate. As it strips stock material from the punch, hence it is called as the stripper plate. Stripper plate also guides the strip to the fade-in line with the die profile. A close sliding fit is maintained between the punch and the punch opening in the stripper, that is H7G6, that is the clearance fit, slight clearance fit. The stripper is located and clamped perfectly in line with the die. Whenever a stripper guide a punch into position is called as the guide plate. They are usually made up of the mild steel. If higher production is anticipated, they are made of medium carbon steel and hardened up to the 45 to 50 HRC. Friends, now we are going to see the bottom plate. You can see in the image. The bottom plate gives a cushioning effect to the die. It provides space for the tool to be clamped to the press bed by the use of toggle clamp, screws and bolts. There will be opening in the bottom plate to allow the blank to fall clear to the tool. The die is clamped to the bottom plate. So the bottom size of that plate is generally larger in size. The opening should not weaken the support of the die. During designing the bottom plate, which precaution we have to take place, that we have to see. The first point is that in the image you can see that there is a rectangular opening. The opening should not weaken the support of the die. Second point is the blank should fall clear of the die without any obstruction. Third is the contour of the opening should be made as simple as possible due to machining point of view and finishing point of view. The bottom plate is having a good quality mild steel and the thickness should have to be strong enough. The calculation we'll see in my next video. Now friends, we are going to see the stopper. The stopper is a plain cylindrical pin you can see in the image. This pin is mounted in the die block. The main function of stopper is to arrest the movement of the strip when it is fed forward to one pitch length. Next topic is our screws and dowels. The screws are used to hold the die parts together, and dowels are used to align the tool parts.